Hello, it's me, Darkfry, the Arbiter of Truth, and welcome to Social Link Showdown, the series in which we analyze and compare the social links of the Persona games. Since this is the first episode, let's briefly go over the rules and criteria I'll be judging them by. Each major arcana of a tarot deck represents some specific traits and characteristics. In each Persona game after 3, each arcana is assigned to one character to represent it. We will be analyzing the different ways each game interprets each arcana and uses them to write interesting and lovable characters. I will be ignoring the gameplay benefits of the social links, meaning I won't be mentioning the confidant skills in Persona 5 or the persona skills your party members get from them in Persona 4. This is purely from a writing perspective. I will also be ignoring any non-social link scenes these characters may be involved in. Obviously, the party members are very important characters that have a massive role in the games, but I'll just be focusing on what happens in their social link, not the rest of their story. These will also be very subjective, obviously. Social links are some good bites of character writing that we can learn a lot from, so let's get started with The Magician. The Magician Arcana indicates resourcefulness, the ability to use your skills, knowledge, and experience to manifest your will to reality. As the first step of the Fool's Journey, it's a card that shows incredible potential within someone. Reversed, however, it can show an immaturity that renders one unable to plan ahead or tap into their full potential. A reversed magician can also reveal a person's high susceptibility to being manipulated or manipulating. Let the showdown begin! In Persona 3, Kenji Tomochika is your typical bro classmate friend, your standard teenage bro dude that constantly has girls on the brain.
By the way, man, I hear you and Yukari are close. Damn, boy, you move fast. I mean, you just transferred here. I can't say I blame you, though. A man's gotta be aggressive nowadays. Hey, let's hang out after school again sometime. We'll get some food and I'll tell you all about my secret plan. Wait till you hear it, dude. You're gonna flip.
Kenji is in love with his teacher, and the secret plan he mentions involves asking her out, which he does. This is Kenji's defining trait. He takes the initiative and turns words into actions instantly. His teacher Emery offers him private lessons instead, which he takes as a huge success. This guy thinks he's in a relationship with his teacher because she offered private lessons. He's the sort of person who's susceptible to parasocial relationships. He's delusional, acts before he thinks, and his rash behavior causes problems for those around him. He's forced to learn the hard way, when the teacher he's in love with has to transfer schools because of all the trouble he caused. The whole point of social links is these characters are flawed, and they change and develop over time. In Kenji's case, this is a perfectly fine start. The troubling thing in Kenji's social link, though, is that to play it optimally, you have to encourage his behavior, instead of convincing him to stop. When he tells you Emery is getting transferred to a school in another city, the response to advance the social link faster is telling him to go with her.
Well, the whole school's gonna know about me and Amiri. It's a huge scandal. Amiri is being transferred to a school in Kyushu. What should I do, dude? Yeah, that's what I thought. I should go with her. But Amiri told me I couldn't. It's like all of a sudden she won't take my phone calls or reply to my text messages. She's probably only doing this to protect me, but still. I can't just sit here and do nothing.
Kenji watches as Emery is about to leave with the man she's going to marry. He realizes he's been driven by his own irrational delusions. But even after this, Kenji doesn't really go through a dramatic change. He realizes he was wrong, and his attraction to Emery was probably shallow since she's an attractive teacher, but he's still like, dude, I want a girlfriend, bro. I'm gonna go hit on chicks. So, I don't know. Kenji's social link is one of the first social links in the entire series, and it shows. It's a pretty good introduction to them, but the following games started exploring social links and the magician arcana in far more interesting ways.
Alright, I'm gonna stick with you wherever you go from today on.
Morgana is very polarizing. I have yet to meet anyone who has lukewarm feelings towards him. Morgana is the call to action character. Speaking of calls to actions, like, comment, and subscribe, and support me on Patreon. Morgana instigated the creation of the Phantom Thieves, introduced them to the metaverse, and motivated them to start changing hearts. Yet even as the character who started it all, his role dramatically diminished as the Phantom Thieves grew in numbers. Especially when Makoto joined as the team's tactician and Futaba joined as their navigator. Morgana's usefulness in the team was exhausted. Combined with his unknown identity, a lack of purpose is Morgana's inner struggle throughout Persona 5, and reaches its climax during Okumura's Palace, a dungeon in the game. I find Morgana's struggle to figure out his identity, his usefulness, and his place within the team very compelling. Morgana starts out as this smug, confident asshole just bossing you around. He even admits that at the beginning he was just using you for his own gain. Slowly though, more people join. Bonds form. Each member has their role and skills that give them a place within the team, and the Phantom Thieves become a family. I'm human. I must be someone special. What if I'm not?
Hey, do you think I'll really be able to become a human when I touch the treasure? Some memories came back. I tried to force myself to forget, but I really may not be human.
I taught them everything they know. What if that was the extent of my usefulness?
If what I saw from earlier is true, is it okay for me to stay with the Phantom Thieves? And even if I'm with the team, I'm useless at the moment.
I made this team. I belong here. What if I don't?
Anyway, it's just as I told you a moment ago. I can't have you guys risk your lives anymore for someone useless like me. To be frank, there's no assurance that I'll turn back into a human either. This can't be called a fair deal. That's why I think we should split up.
These questions are nothing more than invasive doubts. The Phantom Thieves crew accept Morgana with open arms, no matter his usefulness.
I think the reason I was so hung up on wanting to be human is because I needed a goal of my own. Well, not a goal per se, but something bigger. I guess more like a reason to live. But now that I'm sure I belong with the Phantom Thieves, I know what I want to do. Do you know what it is? That too, eventually. I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure the Phantom Thieves succeed. In other words, our goals are in alignment.
He realizes that and accepts that the most he can do is just push himself to always try his best for his team. Morgana's story is about finding the place you belong and what you can offer with whatever skills and tools you have. He may not be human, but his arc sure is.
Yo!
In Persona 4, Yosuke Hanamura is your first party member. Being the first to discover the TV world is the cause of the ongoing murders, and having a connection with one of the victims, he becomes determined to solve the mystery and catch the killer. In almost every rank, Yosuke says he doesn't have time for dealing with girls, doesn't have time for dealing with politics, doesn't have time for dealing with gossip. He's got a killer to catch, damn it!
Jeez, everyone's just trying to take advantage of me as the Junis kid. Maybe I wouldn't mind if I was free, but we have the murders to deal with. I don't have time for this. Can the police really handle the killer? Could the law really convict whoever's behind this? Once I started worrying about that stuff, I knew I couldn't bother with anything else.
Yosuke feels a powerful sense of loyalty and duty, both toward the investigation and you, the main character. He feels this way because the investigation crew, with their personas and knowledge of the TV world, are the only ones who can find the killer.
We're the only ones who can avenge Saki-senpai. We're special. We're the only ones. So, there's no need to bother with outsiders.
Yosuke's social link is among the most emotional in the entire series. He has very strong, conflicting feelings, and they are reflected beautifully. He respects and admires the main character, but is at the same time jealous of just how awesome he is. Did he jump on the murders to avenge the girl he liked, or because finally something exciting happened while he was bored out of his mind in Inaba? He grieves Saki's death even after finding out that she hated him. These complex emotions are present in his social link. Ranks 8, 9, and 10 are incredible. They show Yosuke opening up about his feelings. Yosuke's social link is the very definition of a bromance. It's a refreshing take on masculinity, where both men are proudly emotionally vulnerable. Rank 9 is a scene where Yosuke reveals how both you and Inaba became special to him, and then you spot houses from a hill like a new couple. The best scene in Yosuke's social link, though, happens in rank 8.
I get it now. I wanted to forget about Saki-senpai. How she's not here anymore. I wanted to forget that. I was living a boring life in the middle of nowhere. When the murder started, I got excited. I thought there was finally a point to me being in Inaba. I thought I could forget that Saki-senpai was gone. And the fact that I was such a loser. I jumped at the murders and never once thought about what I was doing. I didn't even take the first step. I'm sorry, Saki-senpai. I'm sorry, you.
This entire scene is Yosuke addressing his shortcomings and regrets. It is profoundly powerful, and I think it's a highlight in social links in general. One of the best scenes in any one of them. However, there's a big issue with Yosuke's social link that I can't ignore. In this series, we'll be discussing serious topics from time to time, and it turns out we must do it in the very first episode. Let's talk about Yosuke's homophobia. At various points in the story, especially during Kanji's dungeon, Yosuke expresses some problematic views about gay people. The reason I mention this is because originally, Yosuke was intended to be a romance option, but was cut from the final game. I've seen people argue that Yosuke's homophobia is okay because he's a teenager in Japan, so him having those views is a realistic character flaw. I sort of agree with this. Yosuke's homophobia wouldn't be a problem if it was addressed as the character flaw it is. But it's not. So it's just plain homophobic writing. Having Yosuke be the first gay relationship of the series would provide a way to do exactly that, and be a very powerful sign of progress within the series. Persona can do a lot better when it comes to LGBTQ representation, so it's a shame that it was cancelled. Yosuke's social link is excellent, and I really appreciate how emotional and vulnerable it feels. It is the quintessential bromance. It ends with them resolving their feelings with a fist fight, for goodness sake. A perfect resolution to his feelings of both admiration and jealousy. However, I just can't help but be left with a bad taste in my mouth when I think about what could have been.
Sup, dude?
Alright, I'm just gonna be blunt here. Junpei is, in my opinion, the best character in Persona 3, and that says a lot. That is a field with steep competition. If you take the loyal bro character of Yosuke and Morgana's inner struggles and you make them kiss, you have Junpei. Junpei, like the other magicians, shows great initiative and always takes action to do what he thinks is right. When he finds out that you have a stalker who's taking pictures of you, he goes to hell and back to make him stop.
Did you notice? Don't stare at it so much. It's just a punch. Well, who cares? Don't bother asking, okay? It's really lame. I don't want to say it. Well, in any case, I don't think there's going to be any more photos of you going around.
Out of all the magician's social links, Junpei's is the best and clearest representation of the reversed magician characteristics. As you rank him up, Junpei opens up about how he never liked to talk about serious stuff and kept his feelings and troubles to himself, choosing instead to avoid them. He expresses an anxiety over his self-worth and future that is disturbingly real, an anxiety that is very eloquently expressed. I'll just let him say it.
I think this is my first time. I thought that if I laughed my way out of everything, that I'd never be in trouble. That's why I try and avoid having to be serious whenever I can. You know those times where everyone sits around and talks seriously? I really don't like those. So I'll goof around. I thought I could breeze my way through things and try to be fun. It's so much easier than having to do stuff like understanding other people. But after meeting you, and the others, I've changed a little bit. Not everything about everyone's cool, right? Everyone has parts of them that are cool or lame, but they're all doing what's best for themselves. After seeing you all like that, I think I got scared. There's no way you can understand each other unless you say what you think. Staying quiet and trying to act cool won't tell anybody anything. Seeing someone way smaller than me putting everything they have into something, it made me ashamed of myself. I've never tried my hardest in anything. I don't take anything seriously. That's why I'll never gain anything. And why I'm never happy. I realized I'm not living my life at all.
There's no external driving force behind Junpei's development. This isn't Morgana dealing with memory loss or Yosuke maturing because of the investigation. This is Junpei actively trying to help you because you're important to him, and realizing his own weaknesses as a result. The change feels real because it is self-inflicted. Junpei is one of the only social link characters who helps you instead of the other way around. Ironically, the first episode of Social Link Showdown turned out to be one of the hardest. All of the magician characters exhibit common traits: loyalty, initiative, directness, yet they are all explored in unique and interesting ways. Morgana's Confidant is a very human story of finding where you belong and offering whatever you can to those you love. Yosuke's emotional moments are among the best in the entire series because of how amazing ranks 8 to 10 are. But it wouldn't feel right because of the missed potential of the gay relationship and, homophobia. So the winner of the first installment of Social Link Showdown is none other than Junpei Iori. His fear of his own inaction and his future is something that I relate to more and more as time goes on, and his growth feels so profound, real, and important to me because of it. Everyone give Junpei a single, hearty clap in the comments, and tune in next time for the Priestess Arcana. Thank you all so much for watching. Adios. A huge, huge thank you to all the wonderful people who support me on Patreon, and a special shout out to Bacon3600, Philip Church, and Emsty Nima. Thank you all so much. See you next time.